Did you know that less than 10% of the nation's airport terminal towers meet the FAA's staffing standards? It's shocking, really. And what's even more concerning is that some of these numbers include controllers who are still in training, trainees who, frankly, aren't yet prepared to handle the full load of responsibilities.
Whoa, so we're talking about a system that's, like, hanging by a thread? I mean, let's face it, if you're flying, you want to assume there's a team back there, fully staffed, fully trained, to make sure everything's going to be okay. But clearly, that's just not the case.
Exactly. And it's not even just about numbers. Like, sure, you can throw out stats, but think about the actual pressure these controllers are under, working long hours with, one or two other people to manage entire airspaces? That's got to be overwhelming, to say the least.
Absolutely. The FAA was aiming for 14,600 controllers. We're falling short by several thousand, even with trainees counted, and the pandemic didn't help. Training was slashed, recruitment stalled, and now we're seeing some, serious consequences. Just last year, for instance, there was an incident where only one controller was managing helicopters and airplanes at Reagan National Airport during a collision, a job that typically requires two, if not more.
Okay, but how do we even get here? I mean, you've got this massive system, one of the most critical infrastructure pieces in the country, and yet it feels like it's completely neglected. Oh, and speaking of neglected, where's the diversity in this workforce? Last I checked, air traffic control wasn't exactly known for being, inclusive.
Yeah, that's a really valid point. Only 22% of air traffic controllers are women, and the diversity in race and ethnicity isn't much better. If you don't see people like yourself in roles like this, why would you even consider it as a career option? Not to mention the hurdles some underrepresented groups face just to enter the field in the first place.
What's disheartening too is that these numbers, whether gender or ethnicity, they're indicators of how the system hasn't evolved. There's clearly an institutional gap in attracting and retaining talent from diverse backgrounds, which only widens the crisis. And let's not forget, the average age of an air traffic controller is almost 40, so we're also dealing with a generation retiring, and we've not been swift enough to train new recruits.
You know what's frustrating? This isn't some subtle issue hiding in the background. It's right there, all over the place. Understaffed facilities, lack of representation, and, let's be real, super intense working conditions. But it feels like the urgency to fix this isn't matching the scale of the problem. Like, where's the energy to actually fix this?
And that's the thing, right? It's not just about fixing numbers or quotas. It's about the people. I mean, take those real stories from controllers who've lived through total chaos in their towers. You hear about moments where they've had to make split-second decisions, knowing lives are literally in their hands. That kind of pressure changes you, and not always for the better.
Exactly. And when you look closer, you see how these challenges compound. It's no wonder the workforce feels such a strain. All of this brings us to the growing concerns about day-to-day operations and safety metrics, not to mention the domino effects these gaps will have on the larger aviation ecosystem.
And that mental toll we touched on earlier? It's even worse than most people realize. Air traffic control is already one of the most high-stress jobs, but now, with these staffing shortages and lack of support, burnout has skyrocketed. Controllers are stretched so thin, and sadly, we're hearing more stories of mental health crises, some even leading to tragic outcomes.
Yes, and this is the grim reality we need to acknowledge. When we place near-impossible demands on individuals for years on end, it's bound to have consequences. Controllers are making split-second decisions in high-stakes environments day after day. Think about the responsibility of managing hundreds of lives on every flight, often without the adequate support of a fully staffed team.
Right, and then you add in the impact of the pandemic. It made everything worse. Training programs slowed down, recruitment hit a wall and the folks who were already in the job, they got like slammed with even more responsibilities. I mean, how much strain can you realistically expect someone to handle?
And it's not just workload, it's the isolation too. Most people don't really understand the scale of what controllers do. So when they're struggling, it's hard for them to even feel seen or supported. We have to start normalizing conversations around their mental health and give them spaces to share these struggles without fear of stigma.
Exactly. And honestly, this is where some practical tools can step in. Like I've shared this before, the intention pen method. It's all about taking just a few minutes to refocus, ground yourself, and set clear goals, even in the middle of chaos. I know it's simple, but it's helped me. And I think it could be a game changer for people in these high-pressure jobs. It's about finding that anchor in a storm, you know?
And that mindfulness element, Eric, it's critical. It might not solve the structural issues overnight, but as individuals face these demands, those personal strategies can play a vital role in staying resilient. Combine that with institutional changes, better mental health support for one, and we might start to see shifts for the better.
Absolutely. And while tools like the intention pen are great for helping individuals manage, we can't let it stop there. This has to be part of a larger conversation about creating a more sustainable environment for these workers. They deserve better.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't just their problem, it's all of ours. These are the people keeping the skies safe, watching out for hundreds, sometimes thousands, of lives every single shift. If we don't find ways to support them, the cracks in the system are only going to get bigger.
And that brings us to a critical point. If we can't address these mental health challenges, not only are we failing these individuals on a human level, but the entire aviation infrastructure becomes more precarious. There's no quick fix, but recognizing the human side of this crisis is where we must begin. Building on that, let's talk about where we go from here. One avenue that holds a lot of promise is the use of AI in air traffic control systems. Now, I get it. AI often gets tossed around as a trendy buzzword, but in this context, we're looking at practical applications. These tools could support controllers by easing workloads, improving conflict detection, and even streamlining decision-making processes in real time.
Yeah, and I mean, look at how AI is being used in countries like Canada and Singapore. They've been piloting systems that help, like, automate routine tasks, so controllers can focus on the complex, human stuff. We've got to embrace tech like this to amplify, not replace, the people in these roles. It's gonna, buy them time, reduce stress? It's a no-brainer.
But we can't stop there, right? AI is a tool. It helps, but it doesn't fix everything. Take mental health, for example. If controllers are still working insane hours under, relentless pressure, no AI is going to take that weight off their shoulders. We need real investment in mental health resources, therapy, on-site support, stuff that shows we actually care about their well-being.
Precisely. And international examples reiterate this point. For instance, Sweden has pioneered work-life balance initiatives by reorganizing shift patterns and introducing comprehensive mental health programs. The results? A noticeable drop in burnout rates. It's proof that systemic changes can and do work, given the will to implement them.
And listen, that kind of thinking, it doesn't just stay in the workplace. It ripples out. Happier, healthier controllers mean safer skies for everyone. Plus, if we could ramp up recruitment, maybe make air traffic control careers more attractive, that'd go a long way. Scholarships, better training programs, even outreach to underrepresented groups. There's a real chance here to flip the script.
Exactly. And I think representation plays such a huge role in reshaping that narrative. If you want the next generation to step into these roles, they need to see people like themselves already thriving there. It's about making the field feel accessible and, honestly, human again.
And perhaps that's the broader takeaway here. The crisis facing air traffic control, while complex, is also deeply human, whether it's technology enhancements, diversity outreach, or mental health reform. These are interconnected solutions pointing to one singular goal, a system that cares for its people as much as it does its efficiency charts or bottom lines.
Totally. And this is where we, as everyday people, also step in. It's easy to think this is some bureaucratic thing that's out of our hands, but it's not. We can advocate, push for funding, ask for accountability, pay attention to what's happening in the aviation sector. Even small actions, like just staying informed, count for something.
And it's not just about flying safely. It's about what this represents, how we tackle challenges in critical systems. Are we innovating responsibly? Are we taking care of the people making it all work? These are questions we have to answer, not just for air traffic control, but for so many other sectors too.
Indeed. So, as we close this chapter, let's embrace both urgency and optimism. Solutions exist, examples abound from across the globe. And while the road ahead requires effort, innovation, and yes, some courage, it's also paved with the opportunity to build something better, a system as resilient as the people who sustain it. And on that note, we'll see you next time.